Yo, what's going on, YouTube family? I hope that everybody's doing well out there. As you can see, I'm in my kitchen today. I'm not gonna cook any food for you, but I am gonna cook up this video. Unfortunately, they're doing work on the patio right now, so I was like, yo, I got this time slot. We're gonna make it work either way. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about in this video today are the top 5 things that I've learned about life through being a designer. And the reason I wanted to have this conversation with you all is because I've been having conversations with aspiring designers, and what I'm seeing is that they're tired of the BS. They are tired of showing up to jobs in other industries where they're being disrespected, where they feel creatively stifled, or where they feel like they can't be authentically themselves. They feel like design is this route, and working in tech is the route to get the things that they need. But what's holding them back, or the things that they have questions around, are, how is this going to affect my perception on myself and life? I don't just want to make money, but how is this going to affect my overall life? And oftentimes when I have these conversations, I tell them that, I feel like design has given so much to me, not in terms of just money, but in terms of perspective, right? I've learned a lot about myself. And that doesn't mean that I haven't gone through anything negative. There's been a lot of negative shit, but it's all shaped and encompassed my life in a positive way. And I'll look back on my life. If my last day was living tomorrow, I can look back on being a designer, and I'll be like, yo, like, design really helped me become the person that I wanted to become. There were a lot of mistakes. I fucked up a lot, but I became a better human being through being a designer. Anyways, yeah, I wanted to get into this video today. Top 5 things that I have learned through being a designer. And this is in no particular order, but the first thing that I've learned is that through having a better understanding of yourself, it's much easier for you to understand others. I remember early on in my career, I would be really affected by the opinions of others, right? There were some people who told me that I was ready to be a designer. There were others who said, you are not gonna make it here at all. You're not creative enough. You don't have the education. You don't have the talent, right? And that stuff used to really weigh on me in terms of how I thought about myself and how I thought about my future. But what I've learned now is that the opinion that you have of yourself is the most important opinion that you should have. Communication is everything in design, and I always say that going to therapy was the best UX course that I've ever taken because by going to therapy I was able to become self-aware of the triggers that I had based off of the things people were saying to me. So, there were things that affected me earlier in my life that were coming up now, and it would make me react or feel a certain way. But a lot of us don't know enough about ourselves, and we don't understand why we operate the way we do. We just go on autopilot, right? And we're just moving based on those past experiences. So the more you understand yourself, the better that's gonna help you become a more successful designer, but it's also gonna help you relate more and understand and empathize more with the individuals in your life. The second thing that I learned about life through being a designer is that you need people in order to scale the vision for your life. So if you were in heaven right now and you're trying to design the picture of the life that you want in the next lifetime, right? I feel like it's really easy to think that you could just do this on your own, right? It's really easy that we get wrapped up as creatives into executing on 10 or 20 different ideas, right? Or we just want to go all in on that one thing by ourselves. But, as I've been working with these different businesses over the past few years, I see that all of them have units. They have a system in place, right? And they have people who specialize in marketing, design, product, engineering, right? And that's how they're able to scale up and become successful. And I feel like as individuals, we need to look at that and reflect on our own lives. Sometimes we need advisors in terms of our financial well-being, in terms of our mental well-being, in terms of our career growth, in our career trajectory, in terms of our physical health, in terms of our relationships, right? Our family lives. We need advisors around us who can help us take life to the next level. When you look at Oprah or The Rock or Kevin Hart, all of them have empires, right? Steve Harvey, I listened to a podcast that he did with Earn Your Leisure earlier this week, and all of them have advisors around them. They would never be able to build these empires that they have unless they had a team around them, right? So if you want to scale up and you want to really create this big vision for your life, you need people behind you. You need a team, right? And that leads to my next point, which is management is key to creating your vision. If you don't have a team around you and you don't have those advisors, it's really important that you manage all of those aspects of your life as as best as you could, right? And I don't think at this point that I've learned, I used to think that balance was everything, right? That you had to have work-life balance. But what I see now is that there is no way that you could balance work, life, family, all these different things, side projects. You can't balance everything. There's always going to be fluctuations between what's taking over. You might have 70% with work right now and 30% with your family, and that fluctuates. It's never the same, right? But management is really key. So take advice from people and places in life that you aspire to be, right? You don't take advice from people who you're like, yo, I like the way that they make money, but I don't like the principles that they live on, right? Like, do not take advice from those kind of people, but take advice from people that you really admire. But I think that with all these individuals that I study, management is really key to that vision. The next thing that I learned, the fourth thing, is that your lifestyle can never rise above your mindset. I'm going to say that again because I think it's one of the most important things. Your lifestyle can never rise above your mindset. If you let doubt creep in and you say that you're not ready and you believe the doubt that people have around you, it's going to just stifle you. It's going to keep you in a certain place. But when you just go, when you make mistakes, and even though you have that doubt, you just move based on intuition, it's going to start to build confidence. I think that too many people operate on fear, including myself at certain times. But when I look at people like Steve Jobs and all these revolutionaries, they figured it out as they went, right? And now that I'm a designer, I see that nobody in these organizations understands what's going to happen. Everybody has a hypothesis and we test things out. And I look at life now the same way. You have to just test things out and iterate as you go. The more you learn, the more information that you have, the better clear that you are on the path that you should really take and how you end up in certain positions. The fifth thing that I learned is that in order to, keep moving and grooving in life, you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That was a quote that I heard earlier this week, but I feel like it really applies to design because design is always changing. There's always new technologies, new ways of doing things, right? But when you learn, unlearn, and relearn certain aspects about yourself and certain skill sets, certain principles that you live on, you're never going to stop growing. You're always going to continue to move and develop into the person that you want to be, right? But sometimes we just learn and we just like that old dog, right? We never try to unlearn the bad patterns that we had that aren't working out for us. So when we relearn how to operate in life, when we relearn how people think about life, when we relearn how to approach certain situations, then it just becomes clearer, right? So yeah, guys, if we just summarize, I'll go through again. Number one, if you have a better understanding of yourself, it's going to result in you understanding others better. Number two, you need people behind you in order to scale the vision for your life. Number three, management is really key to building the vision that you want for yourself. Number four, your lifestyle can never rise above your mindset. And number five, you need to learn, unlearn, and relearn some things about life, right? A lot of us are conditioned to think a certain way. But when we step into our authenticity and we lean into that, right? I'm still learning that. When you lean into the power that you have and the perspective that you have on life, that's what connects you to the opportunities that you really desire, right? When you are moving authentically and walking in your path, then opportunities start to become created. But when you're trying to be like everybody else and you're just operating based on fear, then you will be stagnant like everybody that you see around you. I just hope that you are living a life of purpose that you want to live, and that is shining a light on the folks around you. So anyways, guys, if this video helped in any way, you already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.